This is the compound great choir chest that has 8 ranks. Everything about this chest is compact as it was built to fit under a staircase. The layout is chromatic with 4 gross flute pipes offset to other areas of the chest. The ventil design includes 16 stop action valves and 2 primary actions, each with double valves. With the toe boards and bottom boards removed, the internal pallet rails are removed so that the pieces can be easily transported to the workshop for complete restoration. The rails must be removed from the top side of the chest. New pallet valve pouches are fitted with new flat leather nuts, which are precisely centered. The new pouch is laid using a setter which dishes the pouch and centers it during the gluing process. The pouch is inflated immediately after being glued to check for leaks and guard against adhesion to the side of the pouch well. Rails with new pouches are set aside to dry and await the next stage of restoration. New eye screws and felt washers are threaded through the pallet valves that have been fitted with new felt leather valves. The eye screw is attached to the new pouch. The pouch and leather nut underneath are held to prevent twisting as the eye screw is installed. The pallet is made of soft metal and is easily shaped to make the valve fit tightly. There are 2 pallet valves for each pipe located on opposite sides of the rail. One side of the rail is the great action, and the other side is the choir action. The pallets are attached by a string through the rail. The length of the string determines how wide the pallet opens. If a single pipe is played simultaneously by both great and choir actions, the string ensures the pipe does not overblow, as the pallet opening is restricted by the string. Originally, the strings were more like piano bridle straps that hooked on very small threaded wires. The wires had teeny leather nuts, and the nuts could be turned to adjust the pallet opening. I used nylon cord and round toothpicks instead. After all adjustments were made, shellac was applied to the toothpick and cord to seal the position. After all pallets are set at the proper opening, a final check for an airtight seal is made. Using a tube and mouth suction, each pair of valves is tested. The top boards have been sanded, filled as necessary, and repainted Aeolian yellow. Using a hardened steel tool of proper bevel, each toe hole is burnished. The heat generated removes the paint which had gotten into the hole. The tip of the tool is cleaned frequently with Scotch-Brite. The chest shell contains the stop action, which includes a dump valve for each ventil section. These dump valves open the ventil section to atmosphere when its respective stop is turned off. Adjustment of the dump valve is critical. If it leaks, large amounts of air will be lost, creating lots of noise. These valves are almost impossible to adjust once the chest is fully assembled. Very careful inspection of these rebuilt valves is an absolute must. The chest shell was moved to its final location, and then the individual rails were installed. Here, the small spacers between the rails are lightly glued into place. These spacers will then have gasket material attached. The edges of the bottom boards must seal tightly at these spacers. The foam gasket material makes a very good seal. This is the expensive SC43 foam with skin on both sides. The secret is not to over-tighten the screws. The bottom boards attach with machine screws. Observe the small space available between adjacent rails. Repairing anything in that small space is almost impossible. To remove one rail, all the bottom boards must be removed and the spacers on both sides of that rail removed. Then, the top or toe board for that rank must also be removed. The rails also have cloth sealing strips at each end. We're not going to see much detail here, but this is part of the primary valve action. Terms are just a little confusing, but these pouches and valves are the secondary component of the two-valve system. The double primary two-valve system hangs underneath the chest and is attached by an offset feeder board. If any one of these pouches needs repair, it would take a full day just to fix one valve due to the complex construction of this valve action. The magnets attach to the bottom of this action.